Cool, hear me? Yes, cool. Hi!
Is audio balance fine? Can you hear the game and him fine?
Can you hear me and the game?
If everyone says okay,
No game?
put in
Game needs to be a bit
whatever's in the button.
Okay, hello, how does that sound? Talking, doing stuff. Does it sound okay?
good, apparently.
Sounds alright, okay. I guess I'll get started in just a moment, if we're ready.
Ready when you are.
Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I am Steven and this is Super Mario World 96 Exit, which is basically beating every exit, well, every exit Nintendo intended you to beat in the game. You can get extras if you do some shenanigans, but they aren't included in this. So starting out, it's pretty straightforward, just running right, jumping, and that's how it goes for really all of World 1. As I run right, I can jump do whatever I want. It doesn't make any difference to Mario's speed. As long as he reaches his top speed, basically, before I start jumping. In this stage I'll be running along the brown wooden platforms as much as I can in order to save a few frames. Doesn't make a huge difference, but it does change you from ending this level on 58 on the game timer to 59. So there's a very visible result if you do this properly. And it's just a minor optimization at the start of the run. Yeah, another fairly straightforward stage. Run right, jump. I choose to stomp the shell there to reduce a bit of lag. You can use that shell you can do a mid-air jump off the shell to skip jumping in the water, which saves about 0.2 of a second. But it's quite tricky, and I'd rather just take the safe lag reduction. Here we have the first castle of the game. This castle is probably the trickiest bit of World 1 to do fast, consistently. You want to spend as little time grabbing the cages as possible. And then there's this room, which is an auto-scroller. Can't do anything to make this go any faster. But what I will do here is grab a fire flower, which is going to come in handy for killing Morton at the end of World 2. And perhaps for another trick in Cookie Mountain if I get there. And that's Iggy Cooper down. And after every castle, there's a cutscene in which there's really just nothing to do. But it's a nice little bit of downtime. How's everyone doing today? So in this next stage, Donut Plains 1, I'll be grabbing a cape, which ideally I will keep for the entire run. Because the cape is a very useful thing. It lets you fly over levels, do all sorts of cool tricks. And it's worth noting that when I fly with the cape, like, there's 5 possible speeds I can fly at. And I can adjust that mid-flight. At the moment I have the fastest speed, which is convenient. And having the fastest speed versus the slowest is a difference of about 2 seconds for some levels. So it's not much, but it adds up over the course of the run. Especially in a category like this. So in this stage I'm going to go into the pipe and grab the shell and hopefully not get hit by the Koopa. There we go. Because when you have a shell, for some reason that makes Mario swim faster. Unfortunately I did lose the shell, but we can just grab one of these and then switch to the P-switch anyway. And so far along this run, I've basically been taking the fastest path towards Bowser, but I'm going to divert from that because we need to get all the exits. And I'm going to get the exit up here that takes you to Top Secret. That flight there is actually a little bit on the dangerous side, but I got it just fine. So after I beat this stage, it's going to take me up to Top Secret. I'm just going to walk straight back down because Top Secret is not an exit and there's no reason for me to enter it. And now I'm going to go back down to Donut Plains, or Donut Secret 1, and head towards, grab the secret exit to head towards Donut Secret House. There's a few different routes for 96 exit, that it's mostly the difference, it's mostly differences in Donut Plains here, where you go first. I choose this route because the next stage, Donut Secret House, if you get to it later, the boo ring might be in an unreliable position, depending on how you play in the different ghost house. Ooh, 58 is good there. So the ghost houses in Super Mario World are sort of designed to be a bit of a maze. But since I already know what I'm doing and where I'm going... Ooh, lost P speed, that's a pity. Since I already know where I'm going, it's no problem. And his second boss of the run, Big Boo. He's probably the easiest boss to fight perfectly, because you can just throw these throw blocks, and if they're inside him when his hitbox activates, then they just hit instantly. So you can get this fight perfect down to the frame really easily. And next we'll be heading back into the secret house in order to get the normal exit. That's what I was supposed to do last time. And just to be a bit spooky, head under the level there. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah, no, but if I have a couple of but I'm going to install it on my laptop before I leave.
And now the rest of Donut Plains is pretty straightforward for the most part. It's just head right through the level, get the goal. In this stage I have to fly reasonably high because there's a couple of pipes I need to get over, which for some reason Nintendo didn't extend above the height of the screen, even though you can just fly right above them. Ooh, that was a slow speed. I can tell by the game timer what kind of flight speed I had. I thought I was going a little bit faster than that, but really it's no big deal. So in Super Mario World, if you have a cape, there can be a little bit of flying over levels, because it just happens that that's the fastest way through and the easiest. But I promise that's only like 20% of the run, maybe. Plus the cape gives us the ability to do a lot of cool shenanigans. In this stage, I'm going to start out flying over, but I will be stopping off to grab a Yoshi, because there's a few cool tricks you can do with him. And this Yoshi will be useful for the first 2 stages of Vanilla Dome. That was a little bit slow. But otherwise good. Ooh. Okay, we got P-Speed back, that's fine. And here's our second castle. It's worth noting you can't take Yoshi into castles, so having him here is irrelevant. And we just fly up there to get to the bonus room that skips the second room of this castle. And then here we use the cape to maintain flight all the way up here. Well, up to this point. You can fly a bit further up, but it doesn't actually save time because you have to wait there for the moving floor. And we kill Morton with 2 fireballs and a stomp. That's the main reason we grabbed Fire Flower. It saves a lot of time on those bosses. 4 seconds to be precise. Well, 4 seconds on Morton and Roy, 14 seconds on Ludwig, because Ludwig likes to roll around a bunch after you hit him once. And up next, you'll be seeing why I grabbed this Yoshi. So what I'm going to be doing here is duplicating a couple of turn blocks by throwing a Buzzy Beetle at them, and using those to create wings where there's not supposed to be wings. There we go, got the first dupe. Now we collect the Dragon Coin, and the second dupe, and we have wings. And they beat the level instantly. Saves about 45 seconds there, as opposed to beating the level in the intended way. And we're not done with Yoshi yet. Ooh. Unfortunately, Yoshi is being uncooperative today. Okay, there we go. And we unfortunately have to ditch Yoshi there. Otherwise we will fall to our deaths. And up next we have our first Switch Palace. Beating this will spew red blocks all over the map, which will help and or hinder us later in the run. Mostly, I can think of one spot where they actually affect how I play. And unfortunately they do get in the way just a little bit. And here's another place where I'm going to grab Buzzy Beetle to swim a bit faster. Throw that one away because we're going back on the land for a bit. And then we grab this guy here. And what I'm going to do here is cape spin this Buzzy like that, so I can just keep carrying it. Otherwise it would have woken up and hit me. And now there's no more water for the rest of the level, so I can just fly through normally. Not bad. And here we have another ghost house. This is one of the fairly straightforward ghost houses, really. There's only one door in this first room. And immediately visible when you enter this room, there's only one door, but if you hit this P switch here, a door appears in the middle of those coins. And you have to get... You could hit the P switch earlier, but then you'd be locked out of the door, and that is definitely not ideal. And now coming up, VD3, one of the more annoying levels in Vanilla Dome for sure. Okay, I got that flight. That's something I died to yesterday, so I'm glad I managed that. Then we can fly right up here to the bonus game, which gets us to the second half of the level a little bit faster. And then these are the red blocks I was talking about, which get in my way. That Yoshi's a lot easier to grab when they're not there. And I'm going to fly along this raft for a bit because that's the safest way to get through there. There is a strat where you can just skip touching that raft entirely, but it saves maybe 5 seconds, but it's not at all marathon safe. And I just don't want to take that risk. And the next stage, VD4, pretty simple. It's just straightforward platforming, flying to the right. I'm gonna do, I guess it's almost a little trick. We call it one tile fly, where you fly off this one tile here. That is the only good strat for this level. I just want to make that clear. Nothing else. Nothing else is a good idea. And here we have the third castle of the game, and our good friend Magikoopa, who is a whole mess of RNG. But the odds of him actually hurting me here are pretty slim. One thing I should mention, This game runs at 60 frames a second, and you have a 3-frame window to enter doors, which makes them not incredibly difficult, but kinda hard to get consistent. Did a little skip there by floating over that gap. That saves one of these cycles of the... Ooh, level moving up and down. Okay, so the dry bones decided to be rude, and actually more my cape hitbox decided to be rude. But that's fine. I can grab a cape in the next stage, no problem. Just hope I can fight Lemmy here without getting hit, which is a bit more annoying without a cape. Okay, we're good. So yeah, there's a cape block immediately at the start of the next stage, which is quite convenient. Grabbing it only loses about 4 seconds. And actually I lost cape in the Lemmy fight in my PB, so I had to do this anyway. So I'm just going to grab this cape, and we're back on track. Now this level's pretty precise. You bounce on the saws. Pretty difficult. And we're done. And I'm going to keep Yoshi and go for a dumb trick in the next level. I'm probably going to miss it, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. I was going for a frame perfect trick there, which means I have a 60th of a second to hit the right input. Actually, don't need Yoshi anymore, so bye, you can have fun in Cookie Mountain there. So missing that loses a few seconds, but it's not a big deal. Would have been cool if I got it though. Hopefully I'll get a chance to demonstrate the same thing late in 10 minutes or so when I get to Groovy. So you'll notice I'm heading back away from the castle. That's because I'm going to have to come back over the top bridge anyway. So for now I'm heading down to Soda Lake and Star World. Okay, and we fly below this goal to get to the secret exit. And next up we have Soda Lake, which is, it can be a dangerous level. It's the only level in the game with torpedo Teds. However, you can just swim right underneath it. There's a few tiles of space beneath the screen where you can just swim before you'll die. So I'm just abusing that here. Makes it a lot safer getting through this level. And I'm going to delay just a little bit here, so that torpedo will shoot to the left. Otherwise, if he shoots to the right, I have to swim back up into the main part of the level. And I'll do another delay here so they shoot to the left because it's slower. It's a lot slower if they shoot to the right. And now we're on to Star World. So because the animation of warping with these stars, this takes a couple of seconds, so we're going to minimize the number of star warps we use in the run, which means I'll be getting all of the Star World exits within the next few minutes. Yeah, and that's Star World 3. Fun fact, if you get unlucky with Lakitu throwing a Spiny, the gold tape can despawn. Yoshi will just eat it. And then you have to get the secret exit. So to make your way through Star World, you need to get the secret exit of each level. But we also need the normal exits because this is 96. We need to get all of the exits. So I'm sure you've all had enough of flying over levels, so instead I'm going to fly under this one, just for some variety. So most of the time, well, for the first few exits here, I'm going to get the normal exit before the secret exit. Just because that's the way it works best in overworld routing. Now, Star World 5 is unique compared to the other Star World levels in that the normal exit will actually take you forward and unlock a part of the Star Road, because the secret exit takes you to Special World. But we don't want to go to Special World just yet, we still have more of Star World. So we'll just be getting the normal exit for now. Unfortunately, I landed on that ceiling, which is fairly easy to do, unfortunately. Loses a little bit of time. And the next exit we have is Star World 1, where you can do a cool trick. So this level is made up of turn blocks. And the thing about turn blocks is only 4 of them can be spinning at once. And if you happen to be inside one of them when it stops spinning, you can just sort of get pushed down into the left, which is a much faster way of getting through this level. And that's not a bad normal exit time. Zips are pretty tough to get consistent, unfortunately. So those were pretty reasonable. And we'll be doing the same thing again for the secret exit, except this time we'll just be stopping at the keyhole. So the reason I get the normal exit there first, even though it is a little bit slower in overworld time, is that I'm going to grab a Yoshi after the second time through Star World 2. Give me that key. And zipping with Yoshi is technically possible, but I'm pretty sure it's slower and it's a lot more difficult. Yeah, so this is just a basic water level. You hold Yoshi to swim through it. And we're going to grab the secret exit first, because that just takes us back up to Star World 3. And now we're going to grab the normal exit, and then we'll be moving on to Star World 5 and Special World. And Special World, this blue Yoshi is like the best part of Special World. It saves so much time in pretty much every stage. So we feed Yoshi our Fire Flower because that makes him grow up instantly instead of having to feed him 5 enemies. And one of the nice things about Blue Yoshi is that if he has any shell in his mouth, he will get wings and you'll be able to fly. Like this. So when you're on Yoshi, you can spit out the key and duck in the keyhole for some reason. Normally you wouldn't be able to move if you weren't on Yoshi, but you can do those two things. So in this level, I'm going to be doing another wings glitch involving duping blocks and stuff. Unfortunately that block stopped spinning and there's not much I can do about it, or started spinning. There we go, I got the top one to stop spinning early, which is a little bit tricky, but it saves a bit of time. And next up we have Tubular, which may have been the bane of your existence as a child. Because this is the level where you're supposed to fly through with pea balloons. But we can just get some wings instead. And the next stage, we're going to be seeing another set of wings, but these ones were actually intended by Nintendo. And next up is Awesome. That last level was way cool, and it's the disappointment of many of us that this ice level here isn't the one that's called way cool. Someone at Nintendo really missed an opportunity there. And what I'm going to do here is grab a Fire Flower, because that will come in handy for the rest of the run. For Ludwig, Roy, and hopefully something else in this next stage. Unfortunately, like in Cookie Mountain, I'm going for a frame-perfect trick here, so there's a decent chance I'll miss it. But this one only loses 3 seconds if I mess it up, so it's worth going for. Okay, we got the first part. Hopefully we can get the rest. Ooh, okay. Unfortunately, I wasn't holding down properly there, so I messed up the rest of the trick. And actually, I wish I hadn't have spat out that shell, because this is going to become an interesting end to the level now. This is an unpleasant stage when you don't have a shell to fly. I'm just going to do that to make things a bit easier. Oh, okay, Yoshi's gone. Bye, Yoshi. Okay, so there's an invisible pipe above the stage. And unfortunately, not only did I hit the invisible pipe, I wall clipped on the invisible pipe, so that I lost flight. So that was quite unfortunate. So that groovy didn't go exactly according to plan. It almost went extremely well, though. I just want to note that. So normally you'd have a Yoshi entering this stage, and you'd ditch him around here to get past this Hammer Bro platform. Okay, so the Hammer Bro platform decided, no, it doesn't want me to live, and it just sort of teleported me to my death. So I'm going to attempt to grab this cape, which is hard to hit while the water's down. And then I'm just going to run back here and get flight. So Mondo was not nice to me today. But all in all, it's not a terrible special world. Yeah, not terrible. Okay. Shouldn't have started talking about how good the special world was until I was out of Mondo. These next two stages are fairly straightforward. You just in the spirit of Super Mario World, you just fly over them, including Outrageous here, which is probably one of the hardest levels in the game if you don't have a cape. So yeah, fortunately we don't have to play through that the intended way, because it is not pleasant. And last of all, we have Funky. And this is another stage where there are pipes that rise to the top of the screen, but not the top of the level. So you can just fly right over the top of them. And here we have... You are super player. There's no A in that because this is the Japanese version. And that is Special World done. Now we're going to head back through and clean up some of the exits we missed in the first pass. So the reason we go to Yoshi's Island... Oh, wow, I tried taking off too early. The reason we go to Yoshi's Island 1 here rather than at the start of the run is that it makes, as far as overworld time goes, you have to walk the same distance anyway, and it gives us a cape for this stage, which, if you can actually take off at the start, saves time. And I guess I haven't mentioned it yet, but there's a trick we go for in the Switch Palaces. And I hope I can get it on at least one of them. Okay. That wasn't it. That was a little bit slow. But we still have two more Switch Palaces. And now we have a fairly long stretch of walking back through levels we've already completed. I guess one thing worth noting, you'll notice the overworld map is now orange rather than green. That's because Special World has been beaten. And it also changes some enemies. It gives the Koopas masks and stuff. Sort of like Mario mask kind. I was flying a little low there. Gives the Koopas like Mario masks and stuff. And the piranha plants become pumpkins for some reason. And bullet bills become, I think, Pidgeot bills. Like, I think they become Pidgeots from like SMB2. And now we head into a definitely very, very interesting auto-scroller. Twice. Because Nintendo decided, here, have a long auto-scroller. We're gonna make you play it twice. So this is an auto-scroller with two exits. Luckily, so there's the long way through this. There's two ways through the level: the long way and the short way. And luckily, we can just take the short way twice because both lead you to the normal exit. there is actually one little speed strat I'll be doing here in this stage. So from here, I'm going to start flying, and hopefully I can keep this flight into the pipe. Yeah, I got it. So now I can just, because I did that, I can just fly straight out of the pipe, and that saves a little bit of time. And up next we have the green switch. Maybe I can play this one right. Get on the Switch. Mario, please. Okay, apparently my Switch Palace game is just way off today. But that's fine. And for anyone that may have missed the auto-scroll the first time, we're going to do it again. Because we have to. Bye-bye, Buzzy. And yeah, we just do the same pipe fly thing. Now there's a green block in the way. So these green blocks are actually quite useful in that they give you a cape. So once you get the green switch, there are backup capes just all over the place, which is really handy if you get hit. Of course, if you're getting hit, you're probably losing a bit of time anyway. So there's a category in this game called Lunar Dragon, where you collect all of the dragon coins and moons, and you have to go all the way to the end of that stage, which is about twice as long as you saw. And that's not particularly pleasant. And this ghost house here, I think what you're supposed to do is hit a vine, or go through doors and then hit a vine and then climb up there, but we can just fly because we have the cape. And that is all of World 2 completed now. And now we're back in Vanilla Dome 1 to get the secret exit, which, now that there's red blocks, is a little bit more annoying. Yeah, okay, I messed up the fast strat there, but we can still just climb up easily. And Vanilla Secret 1, this next stage, is a vertical level, which means trying to keep flies all the way up can be tricky. Luckily I got that perfectly. Hopefully I can do that the second time, because the second time it actually matters a bit more. You don't need to keep the shell through there, but I like to grab it so that in case the Chuck throws a football at me, I can just bowl it over along with the Chuck. So hopefully I can get the fast strat for the normal exit here. Okay, looks good. Yeah, that was about as good as I could have hoped that to go. Words are hard. And what I actually did there was a frame perfect trick at the end of the level. I ducked and flew on the same frame, which is called, surprisingly enough, duck fly. Purely for swag. And now this is an interesting section that they're on. Definitely. 2 flyovers, a water level, an auto-scroller, and another flyover. But stay tuned, there is exciting stuff coming right after this. The forest is an interesting place. And here we see the first and only instance of dolphins in the run, unless I make a very big mistake in Chocolate Island 1 and into the wrong pipe. But that's pretty unlikely. And actually, I suppose this is the first fortress of the run. So there are 4 of these fortresses scattered throughout Dinosaur Land. Luckily, not all of them contain this much water. And each fortress ends with a Reznor, or in the Japanese version, Bui Bui. So for all Reznor, you can do that quick kill, but the fireballs they shoot are random. And you can get unlucky with the fireball patterns. There are some patterns where if you go for the quick kill, you will just get a fireball to the face. Luckily, the fireballs are actually fairly lenient, in that they take about a second. They can be on screen for about a second before they'll actually hurt you. So it can look like you've just jumped right through a fireball, and you'll be perfectly fine. So this is Butterbridge 1. Which is a whole 2 minutes long. 2 minutes of this. It's a good time. If there's one rule for SMW, it is don't die in Butterbridge 1. That's about the worst thing you can do. Okay, we're done with that level. It's over. It's only up from here. I feel like beating Butterbridge 1 is not quite applause-worthy. Okay, now we're on to Butterbridge 2, which is slightly less 2 minutes long. Okay, it's 100% less 2 minutes long. And now we're back to an actual interesting level, which is nice. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but if Mario's in a normal flying animation and hits an enemy, he'll like spin out of the flying animation but won't take damage. He'll get invincibility frames for maybe a second. Ooh, unfortunately losing fire there it's the opposite of what is good. I'm actually a little nervous about this ceiling right now. That is getting awful close. Oh, okay. That's not good. So unfortunately I have lost cape and fire. Really, losing fire is the worst part of that. Losing cape is not a big deal. It doesn't make any difference to this upcoming fight. So every time you hit Ludwig, he does this and starts rolling around. But if you hit him while he's in the air, he doesn't do that. So that skips a rolling around cycle and saves, I think, about 7 seconds. But unfortunately, I have made it out of Castle 4 with no cape and no fire. The fire doesn't make too much of a difference. It's not really worth grabbing another fire flower. It only saves 4 seconds on Roy, and it's not particularly easy to grab one without losing a similar amount of time. But the cape, we need another one. Luckily, there is one coming right up in Forest of Illusion 1. Not quite used to those guys at the start of the level being blue. They run faster. Okay, give me that guy, and give me that. And then it's business as usual for the rest of the level. Well, I say business as usual. Business as usual for me. This is not how most people would beat the level. Unfortunately, getting a P-balloon there is basically a 50-50. And I dropped the blue shell. What I was trying to do was spawn another set of wings from there. Well, I didn't quite get that right. That's a bit of a tricky trick. So up next we have Forest of Illusion 2. It's a quite a long water level. And it lags a lot. But we do what we can to mitigate that. Mostly by just swimming right under the level. And because Mario swims faster with an item, we sort of peek back in bounds here and grab this throw block. So even swimming under fast, it lags a fair bit. But it's a lot worse trying to do it the intended way. Okay, last Switch Palace of the run. My last chance to redeem myself. Okay, we're not getting flight out of here. Ah, didn't get it. Not a single yump this run, that's quite unfortunate. So there's a trick which is frame perfect where you jump off the big switch. It's called a yump. Not sure exactly why it's named that. So part of the reason we do the forest in this order is so that we can have a Yoshi for both times through Forest of Illusion 2. Wait, I want to go down here. And I also don't want the blue shell. Get out of here, blue shell. So this is a fun ghost house, another level that makes use of the cape cancelling mechanic. And without a cape, you'd have to enter the second room of this level and walk for a while, but we can just fly over that wall. And there's actually a door that would normally be hidden behind the big ghosts, but if you walk fast enough, it just doesn't spawn at all. And now we have Forest of Illusion 2 again. Again, I will be clipping out a level with Yoshi. I guess I'm going to grab a backup cape as well, because if I don't have fire, no reason to not have a cape. Ooh, okay. That's not good. Yoshi falling like that means that there's a much less of... Okay, didn't end up mattering. But there's less of a chance you'll get through if you drop Yoshi on the ground. And grab that block again. And this time we go straight to the end of the level for the normal exit. And this next level, Forest of Illusion 3, we have a trick. This trick is called the Dirty Bubble, where we take off before the first bubble of the level. Let's see if I can get it. I got it. That trick saves, getting it once saves 10 minutes. Getting it twice, that saves half an hour. It's a big difference, taking off before or after that bubble. Yes, definitely half an hour, and definitely not like 6 frames. Now we have another run through Forest Ghost House. This is a fun ghost house. It's basically the same both times, but it's a fun level to play, so I don't mind. So, this next level, Forest of Illusion 4, we're going to be going for the secret exit first, because that leads us down to Foresty secret area in Forest Fortress. And then we'll be coming back up to get Forest of Illusion, the normal exit here, which loops us back round. So, funny thing about this room here, do you see that hole to the right? That's known as the Aaron hole, after someone that jumped in there, just carrying the key, jumped right over the keyhole and into the hole to his death. So this stage, you're supposed to ride those grey platforms, and you can see how fast they were moving. It takes a very long time to beat the level riding those platforms, but we can do it in 18 game seconds like that. I think 18 game seconds is like 12 real seconds or something. And now we're on to Forest Fortress, which has the last auto-scroller of the run. They will not be missed. So this auto-scroller is fairly easy. We can just sit at the top left and fly. And you might be thinking, oh, those crushes are going to crush you against the side of the screen. No, we just sort of clip through them. Ooh, I landed. I didn't want to land, but that makes no difference. It's still a very easy level. So those big smashy crusher things that come down from the ceiling, they will only hurt Mario when he is touching the ground. So if you're flying, if you're jumping, even if you're getting crushed up against the left side, unless you're touching the ground, you're fine. And this room's a bit more interesting. Have some fun spin flying. One bounce, two bounce. Unfortunately, I bounced on the third Podobo there. Ideally, you'd not bounce on him, but it's difficult to avoid. Okay, Resnor fireballs are a little bit on the scary side there, but I managed to get through without taking a hit. Which, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference because I have that backup cape. But it's always nice to keep the backup cape. And now we're back on to cleaning up forest. So these next couple of stages are fairly straightforward. So, heading back to Forest of Illusion 3, I do get to Dirty Bubble again. It's a very exciting time in the run. And we got it. Actually, I got instant fast fly out of that as well. So hopefully I can get a 65 on the game timer entering this last pipe, which is fairly tight. Got it. It's not a big deal, but like, it's pretty cool. Well, pretty cool to me, probably not too cool to anyone else. Okay, so the next level, Roy's Castle. The idea of this level is you're supposed to ride a block snake back and forth until it eventually takes you where you want to go. We can just fly. And oh no, there's some Podobos. We can dive bomb under the Podobos. And that saves a very large amount of time. I think over a minute. Just being able to fly through there. Oh, okay, this is very spooky. Ah. That is not how that was supposed to go, surprisingly enough. Fortunately, I have this backup cape. It's not a huge time loss, but I do feel a little silly for that. Okay, got it the second time. Yes, that's not a smart death. Okay, I missed the flight there. Yeah, if I'm stopping here, I will take this cape, which does not seem to be worth grabbing, really. Okay. Unfortunately, without fire, I just have to hit Roy 3 times. But Roy is down. And we have another cutscene before World 6. Oh yeah, this is the cutscene in which Mario is not the smartest. So up in this next stage, Chocolate Island 1, instead of just flying over it, like your average flyover stage, I'm going to be doing a trick called Pipe Fly, which is very similar to what I did earlier in Donut Plains 2, where I'm going to fly shortly before entering a pipe, and then I'll be able to maintain flight out of the pipe. The difference here is the pipe here is a pipe cannon, which shoots Mario at a much higher speed than your average flight speed. And that winds up saving about a second. It would save more if the transition time for the pipes wasn't so long. Here we have Chocolate Ghost House. Chocolate Ghost House, you want to fly right above the screen, but not too far above, because if you fly low, you've got our friend Fish and Boo down there, ready to get you. And if you fly too high, there's an invisible pipe about here that you can run into. You can actually enter that door without having to wait for the hole to move to the right, but it is very scary. Because if you miss, there's a decent chance you're just going to fall in the hole and die. And doors in this game are not as easy as you'd think. It's not like Mario Maker where you can just hold up somewhere near the door and you'll enter. It's actually a fairly tight window. So here we have Chocolate Island 2. This level has two exits. One, you have to... and... well, which exit you get is determined by when you enter the pipe of the second room at. Like the game timer when you enter this next pipe. So if the game timer is above 49, then you'll get the secret exit like this. And if it's 49 or lower, you'll get the normal exit. So really, speedrunning, you're always going to get to that pipe with heaps of time to spare. Chocolate Secret, fairly simple level. I will attempt to get flight here. Yeah, got it. Cool. Because doing this, like flying upwards might seem a little counterintuitive, but doing this room with P-speed saves a bit of time. Because you're moving faster horizontally. And then this bit here, the chucks tend to override the cape sound sometimes. So that's why I flew a little bit lower. But I still need to fly high to get over these sand bits. So I'm not going to enter that pipe, because that pipe takes me straight to Wendy's castle. And I have plenty of other levels left in Chocolate Island. So I mentioned that you needed to get above 49 on the timer in this level to get to the secret exit. You need below that to get to the normal exit. So I'm just gonna mess around a bit, grab some coins. The number of coins you grab in this first room determines what second room you get. And normally here I wouldn't already have a backup cape, so I'd be able to grab that one quite easily. And now we wait, because there's nothing else I can do. What I will do though is try to get flight here, so I can do a little flight out of the pipe here. Just save a little bit of time in this room. And because I got all the dragon coins in the level, I get this room with the switch blocks, which just makes it a little bit easier to get flight. The other room, if you don't collect all the dragon coins, lags a bit because there's a bunch of Rexes. And now we're on to Chocolate Island 3. Now this is the flyover, but it is way trickier than you'd think, because the pipes are really, really early on. There's pipes, by the way. And getting above them is not as easy as you'd hope. Oh god, I'm losing height. Get back up, Mario, please. Okay, we're good. And we're going to grab the normal exit. And here we're going to see definitely the most useful and probably my favorite overworld path in the game. This is just great. And Mario just loops around back to the same level. Now we just do the same thing again. Except this time we fly over the first goal and head to the second goal for the secret exit. And this one actually takes us forward to Chocolate Fortress. Chocolate Fortress, the first room of this level is one of the more technically heavy rooms in this category. Just as far as tight movement and stuff goes. So I'm going to scroll the screen to the left. You won't be able to hear it, but it's going to take longer for it to scroll to the right here. And that just makes the pencils load in a nicer spot. I did not mean to spin fly there, that was not intended. But this still isn't too slow because I got that starting bit of the strat. And here we have another Reznor. Wow, this one is very docile. Barely even saw a fireball there. And up next we have Chocolate Island 4. It's one of the interesting levels with Cape. It's a matter of spin flying and dealing with the slopes. Okay, this is not exactly how this would normally go, but we're fine. That was a bit interesting. I accidentally got a first frame jump halfway through the level. And when you get a first frame jump while you're spin flying, you won't get a full spin flight, which can be a little annoying if you're not expecting it. And here we're going to grab Yoshi again. This is the last Yoshi we're going to see this run. P-speed there. And this Yoshi's going to come handy all throughout the Valley of Bowser. Once again, this is a castle. We must check our Yoshi at the door and play the level without him. Ooh, okay. I was a little nervous when I got hit that the Crusher would get me. But that's fine. Losing that cape is not a big deal at all because I had that backup. I can still go fast through here, hopefully. Yep, I'd call that reasonably fast. And I'm just going to grab that as another backup. I probably won't get hit in the fight, but if I did, I'd rather not go without this cape. Oh, Wendy's over there? Wow. Okay, I got fooled by the Wendy doubles. You're not supposed to get fooled by the Wendy doubles when you actually know what you're doing. And now this is the second last of the castle cutscenes, only one more after this. Okay, now time for Sunken Ghost Ship. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a trick in the second room in order to save some time. So unfortunately this is a water level and there's really nothing you can do to speed up your movement. But what I'm doing is I'm getting hit off Yoshi there twice deliberately to hopefully get me in the right spot relative to the Boo Cloud. Yes, that will work. So if I just keep swimming right here, then the Boo Ring that would normally appear at the bottom will not. So normally there'd be a Boo Ring right down at the bottom above those spikes. But I despawned it so I didn't have to deal with it. And this room lags quite a bit, so I'm gonna eat that guy because having a sprite in Yoshi's mouth means it won't be anywhere else. And I'm gonna kill these Koopas in order to reduce lag. Orb. Can I see some so safe in the Twitch chat? And now we're on to Valley of Bowser. Valley of Bowser 1's a fun stage. Flying through eating moles. And shoutouts to Akisto for that strat for killing the Chuck. And up next is Valley of Bowser 2, probably one of the biggest reasons we have this Yoshi right now. And that's why. Otherwise, we'd have to sit through a whole long sandbar moving up and down section, which is just not... Oh, it's just slow. And slow is not what we are about here. There's a strategy where you can do a door fly. It's very similar to the pipe flies earlier. You can fly out of that door and not have to hit the P-switch here. But that's a bit scary, and I don't trust myself not to die in a marathon. But I did slide smoothly through that gap towards the key, which we call the sexy slide. And now we just get the normal exit, which is the third and the fourth door here. But the third door is closer, so we take it. And this stage, you don't need Yoshi for this stage, but because you always have Yoshi when you're beating it, like, I don't really know how to do it without him. Shouldn't have spit out that spring. And up next is the other reason we have this Yoshi for Valley of Bowser. This is the only exit of the game where you need a Yoshi to beat. Like, there are others where he's helpful and fast, but this one there's no way to do it without him. Because one of the things with Yoshi is that his tongue will just go through walls, and you can pick up items through walls. And Nintendo decided, let's put the key behind the wall. If you enter that level without a Yoshi, there is one you can grab. Right here. He turns into a 1-up because there's already a Yoshi in the level. But it is faster just to bring your own. And now we're going to leave Yoshi on top of the keyhole. And that's the last we'll be seeing of him for the run. And now we're moving on to Larry's Castle, which is one of the more annoying levels in the game. The second room can be quite frustrating because it features the return of our good friend Magikoopa, who is a whole mess of RNG. But hopefully I can get through alright. We'll see. I do have this second cape, which is comforting. Ooh, I don't know how I kept P-speed there. Ah, you see, that's the kind of thing. If he spawns there's just nothing I can do. I'm going to get hit. But we have that backup cape. And that is the last castle of the... well, you could consider it the last castle. There's also Bowser's Castle. I guess this is nice. Now we have no more cutscenes for the rest of the run. Not that there's a lot of run left at this point. And I guess I need to save, but don't enter Bowser's Castle. Right, we have the last 2 exits left, and then Bowser. So there is a trick in this stage here, where you can clip through the sandbar, this yellow thing that moves up and down. But it is a 2-frame trick at 60 frames a second, meaning you have 1/30th of a second to hit it, and it is, if you miss it, you're gonna die, pretty much. So I did not go for it. But I did still get a cycle skip, which, again, saves a different 15 seconds. But I could go 15 seconds faster on top of that. I guess 15, it's either 12, 14, or 15, and I'm never 100% sure which. And we already have the normal exit to this stage. So we're just going to fly straight to the secret, which is right over here. So, last fortress of the game, Valley Fortress, one of the more challenging levels, especially as a casual player. Trying to get through the last set of crushers in this stage. Ooh. I am surprised I didn't get hit there. These crushes can be difficult to get through if you're not used to the timing. And that is Resnor down. That is the 96th exit of the game completed. Now we only have Bowser to go. And now, since I have 2 capes, I'm hoping I can show something off. There is a strat called Cape Kill, in which we kill Bowser with the use of the cape. Well, I suppose we kill Bowser faster with the use of the cape. I messed it up yesterday, hopefully I can get it today. Okay, got the first hit. The reason I don't just throw the second Mecha Koopa straight at him is that I want to save a Mecha Koopa for the second and third. I want to save a Mecha Koopa for the second phase, and that will also mean I end up with one at the start of the third phase as well. So I'm just going to stay in the corner here, and that's to keep Bowser in the right position. And then I can fly up here, and I'm actually going to hit Bowser right as he stops. So Bowser was about to throw a second bowling ball there, but instead he just skips that entirely and throws more Mecha Koopas at me, which is exactly what I want. Get ready on time. I think it's plus. I think plus is time. Okay, so for this phase we hit Bowser instantly, so that instead of bouncing 8 times he only bounces 5. And then that's last hit right there. And then, okay, ready, time. $126 isn't bad. So that was Super Mario World 96 Exit. Thanks everyone for watching.
Alrighty then. So that was Super Mario World by Steven. Well done, mate. Did a great job. Next up we have Spyro 1, I believe. Yep, Spyro 1, run by by Dactyl? Dactyles? One of them. Yeah. So we'll just be setting up and we'll be off to the races shortly. In the meantime though, we are taking donations for Child's Play, either online or in person. Perfect. Let me finish my spiel for a sec. Yeah, so just come up to us at the front here if you're in person. I've been spamming the link in chat online. We also have donation incentives, so we have like bonus goals that if you donate enough money, we'll do if we've got enough time, which we usually do. That's why we do them. So if you want your